You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. To the Indo-Pacific now, where Japan has termed the violation of its airspace by a Chinese military aircraft as quote-unquote utterly unacceptable. The reaction comes a day after Japan scrambled jets and summoned a Chinese embassy official in Tokyo in protest. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Hayashi Yoshimasa said the airspace breach was not only a serious violation of Japan's sovereignty, but also threatened the country's security. The government continues to monitor increasing Chinese military activity near Japan and will be fully prepared for any airspace violation.
This is the first time we have confirmed and publicly announced a breach of our airspace by a Chinese military aircraft since we began taking measures against acts violating our airspace. Such airspace breach by Chinese military aircraft is not only a serious violation of Japan's sovereignty, but it also threatens our security, which is utterly unacceptable.
Meanwhile, China has said that it was verifying Japan's claims of incursion by a Chinese military aircraft into its airspace. And Chris Gilbert joins us from Tokyo for more. Chris, what more can you tell us about China violating Japan's airspace?
Well, the government of Japan says it was a Y-9 Chinese surveillance plane, and the Defense Ministry is taking a cautious approach, unlike the politicians, not necessarily playing down, but not wanting Japan to overreact. They say that the surveillance plane grazed Japanese territory. Now that's indicative of both the how far it went into Japanese airspace, which is not very far, but also how long it spent, which was about 2 minutes before it promptly left Japanese airspace again. Now the Defense Ministry is saying it is waiting to find out exactly what happened, that it may have been a mistake, that the plane may have gone off course. However, there was also the fact that before it entered Japanese airspace, it circled immediately outside it for a while, and then after leaving, it circled again, spending some time just on the periphery of where Japanese territory begins and ends. So, as you mentioned, Chief Cabinet Secretary Hayashi has said it is unacceptable. Japan has lodged an extremely serious, in their words, protest to the representative here in Tokyo, and they want assurances from Beijing that this kind of thing is not going to happen again.
Chris, help us understand something here. There have been reports of China violating Taiwan's airspace, but are such airspace violations common insofar as Japan is concerned? Was it the first known instance of such a direct violation?
Well, it is the first time ever that a Chinese military plane has entered Japanese airspace, but it is not necessarily the first time that a Chinese plane has done so. There are the Senkaku Islands, which are disputed territories near Taiwan, as I say, disputed between Japan and China. And in 2012, a Chinese marine plane entered Japanese airspace there. And in 2017, a drone which took off from China entered Japanese airspace there. But again, that is disputed, as are the islands to the north of Japan, and in both of the with Russia, and in both of these regions, Japan is not unfamiliar with foreign vessels, Navy vessels, entering these disputed waters. Chinese vessels in the Senkaku Islands, Russian vessels in the northern Kuril Islands. But in this case, it's somewhat unique in that this is not disputed territory. It's fairly clear-cut. This was Japanese airspace that a Chinese surveillance plane entered willingly, wittingly or not. There are details still to come from China and from Japan's own analysis about what exactly happened. But as I say, Japan is seeking assurances from China that this was just a one-off and that it's not going to happen again.
All right, Chris, thank you. Much appreciated. Chris Gilbert reporting there from Tokyo. And staying in the region, the Philippines. Chris, thank you. Much appreciated.